What is going on, Pats Nation? You guys already know who it is. Patriots Global here, back with another video. And on my community tab, which if you aren't subscribed, make sure you guys subscribe now for all of your New England Patriots news. You guys already know it's the offseason. We're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff, including this new series, which I asked you guys, would you like to see a couple of guys on the free agency market at each position that I'd like to see the Patriots target, that I genuinely think that they could, one, get, and two, I think would make a difference? And you guys said yes. So I thought we'd try this series out. If you guys like it and these videos do well, I'll do it for, the rest of the positions: linebacker, tight end, offensive tackle, cornerback, safety, all that. So if this is a video you guys would like to see at every other position, then obviously make sure you like this video. Comment below that you guys want to see this as a series and tell me which position you guys would like to see me do next. Now, first up on this list is going to be a guy that I would actually really like to see in New England. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of guys that I can say, at least on the free agency market at wide receiver, that I'd like to see the Patriots get. This is not a good wide receiver class. This is not the year to go out in free agency and spend on a wide receiver, because in my own personal opinion, there really is no wide receiver ones in this market whatsoever. You're looking at a lot of number 2s, number 3s, number 4s, and practice squatters. Like, if you asked me who is the best wide receiver for the Patriots to go out and sign in the free agency market to come in and make a difference, it's literally Jakobi Meyers. Jakobi Meyers is the best free agent wide receiver on this market. Now, as for somebody here like Scotty Miller, if the Patriots do get Jakobi Meyers back, then the need for Scotty Miller really does reduce itself. But let's say in a world, these are guys that the Patriots could target if they do lose Jakobi Meyers. Now, even if the Patriots do re-sign Jakobi, you still technically could bring back Scotty Miller. The thing about Scotty and the thing about Jakobi is that they both are mainly slot receivers, but they can still play on the outside. Now, I will say, Scotty Miller is someone you would play a lot less on the outside compared to Jakobi, but you are still getting somebody in the slot that is going to be a difference maker. And we've seen that in Tampa. Scotty Miller really was a go-to guy for Tom Brady. For a while, it started to look like this could maybe be Tom Brady's new version of a Danny Amendola or Julian Edelman or a Wes Welker. And something that we're really asking for from the Patriots, really even specifically from the slot, is somebody who's going to be more explosive. With Jakobi Meyers, you have a guy who is reliable, a guy who can make some pretty tough catches in traffic, and I think that goes underrated. But he's not an explosive guy. He's not going to give you, a bunch of explosive plays. He mainly works within the short to intermediate routes, but he's reliable. He's not going to give you anything after the catch. The thing about Scotty Miller is his speed. That's what makes him explosive. And we talk about the Patriots getting these big, fast wide receivers on the outside, but you've never talked about getting it within the slot. And I think that if the Patriots do get an explosive, game-breaking speedster receiver in the slot, that it truly can make a difference. Because you look at Mac Jones and you look at where Mac Jones likes to operate, it really is within the middle of the field, but he also really does like to work within the slot. He doesn't constantly like to just throw to his outside receivers. And the thing is that the Patriots actually are building up their perimeter receivers pretty well. You have Tyquan Thornton, you have Devontae Parker, Kendrick Bourne is someone who can play the slot and can play the outside. But over the last few years, when it comes to the slot, that guy's always been Jakobi. And because of that, yeah, we've had production there. We've had a reliable guy, but we haven't had anything explosive there. And now, while Scotty Miller isn't going to be as fast as Tyquan Thornton, he isn't, Brandon Cooks or Philip Dorsett, he is still considered a speedster wide receiver. His 40-yard dash time was a 4:39. And it's because of that game-breaking speed that you do still get some versatility. Now, again, he is still mainly a slot receiver, but when you do have that game-breaking speed, it doesn't necessarily handcuff you to one position. You can still play really wherever on the offense. And again, the Patriots do like those speedsters. They can do a couple of different things with them. Even if it's just taking the top off of a defense, whether it's playing slot, whether that's being some depth there for somebody like Tyquan Thornton, or even somebody to do end-arounds with. The Patriots do seem like they're valuing more and more each year those speedster wide receivers. Now, because he is fast, I do think that Scotty Miller will have a market, but I don't think that it's going to be anything crazy. His statistics have not been anything crazy. In 2019, he put up a total of 200 yards on 13 receptions, averaging 15.4 yards per reception and 1 touchdown. In 2020, that's when Brady got there, he had his best season so far, 33 receptions, 501 yards, averaging 15.2 yards per reception, a lawn of 48 yards, which is the same he had in 2019, but 3 touchdowns. Then in 2021, only 5 receptions for 38 yards, 7.6 yards on average with a long catch of 13 yards. And then in 2022, 13 receptions, 185 yards, 8 yards per reception with a long reception of 23 yards. I think in the case of somebody like Scotty Miller, you sign him to a 2-year deal, you draft somebody in the slot from rounds 3 to 7, because I think there's some good slot receivers in this year's draft, despite it not being a good class for receivers. And then, hey, if things pan out well with Scotty Miller, then you have a guy who is your new slot receiver. And if it doesn't, well, you drafted a guy. Now, next up on my list is going to be Sterling Shepard, longtime Giant here. I'm not big on this one, but again, there's just not a lot of great wide receiver options. I don't love the age for him. He just turned 30 a couple of weeks ago, but he is still one of the younger free agents that could still make a difference. Unfortunately, a lot of the free agent wide receivers on this year's market are 30 or older. And the big reason that I think Sterling Shepard could be a different story is that, one, he's a veteran still. I think if the Patriots do lose Jakobi Meyers, they could definitely draft a guy again. Round 3 to 7, I think, are the best rounds to do that. But I don't think that rookie receiver is going to be ready, and the Patriots might want to look at a veteran option until that rookie is ready, because the Patriots are still in a win now mode just because of the issues that they've been having with getting to the playoffs and actually winning a game. The Patriots being interested in trading for Sterling Shepard a couple of seasons ago makes a ton of sense why they would potentially be interested again. Now, despite the age, despite the injury problems, Sterling Shepard is a guy that really would be a perfect Patriots slot receiver. He sits at about 5'10", so that's a height the Patriots are used to working with there in the slot, but he's somebody that can be very reliable. He has very good hands, which is, again, something that they do rely on in the slot. Someone that, again, could take over that role of Jakobi Meyers very well, but someone who's also a really, really great route runner. The thing here about Sterling Shepard that's different than Scotty Miller is that Sterling Shepard is going to be more of a technician, and those are the type of guys that the Patriots love to play within the slot, and some of the guys that, quite honestly, have been the most successful here. I don't expect Sterling Shepard's market to be really much of anything. For sure, there'll be some teams that are interested in him, but no one's going to be going out in free agency just bidding at Sterling Shepard. Again, just turned 30, and that injury history, it's a real problem. It's really pegged him his entire season. He has not played a full season since 2018, and he's only played 2 full seasons since joining the league in 2016. This past year, he only played in a total of 3 games. The year before that, only appears in a total of 7 games, 2020, 12, 2019, 10, 2018, 16, 2017, 11, and then 2016 played in 16 games also. New England's never really been shy, though, to take a guy who has had character issues, or in this case, a guy who has had issues staying healthy, so a guy that I could definitely see them targeting, especially if Jakobi does end up leaving. Now, next up on this list is going to be a guy that maybe is a little bit more unlikely, but a guy that I do still like for New England, and a guy that's going to just continue to be linked back to New England because I just do think he's a good fit, and that's Juju Smith-Schuster. Now, this is probably the closest thing you're going to get to a wide receiver 1, and Juju would probably be my second favorite wide receiver on this market for the Patriots, the first one being Jakobi Meyers. Now, Juju, believe it or not, is still very young for somebody who's been in the league for, I think, like 6 years now. He's only 26 years old, so if they brought him in, they'd definitely be getting a young guy, a guy who's still in his prime, and a guy that can still be good for several years to come. Like, the Patriots could sign Juju Smith-Schuster to a 4-year deal and still get him in his prime. Now, unfortunately for the Patriots, Juju Smith-Schuster last offseason went and signed a 1-year deal with the Kansas City Chiefs. This, unfortunately, for really any team looking to sign Juju Smith-Schuster, in this case the Patriots, are going to be at a bidding war for Juju because his stock did go up. Wherever he signs this offseason, it's going to be for a larger amount because he put up the second best statistical season of his career. I mean, Juju was looking to go out in free agency, sign a one-year deal with whatever team, in this case the Chiefs, and really resurge his career so that at the end of that one-year deal, he can go out, get a big lucrative deal, sign a massive contract, and walk out into the sunset. And I think he's just about done that. This past year for the Kansas City Chiefs, not only being in the playoffs, not only winning a Super Bowl and being a big part of that for Kansas City, but he put up a total of 933 yards, averaging 12 yards per reception, 3 touchdowns. He was targeted 101 times with 78 receptions, appearing in 16 games, starting in 14. And again, that was the second best in his entire career since joining the league in 2017, and that was his best year since 2018, which was his first and only Pro Bowl. To put things into comparison, Juju put up a total of 129 yards in 2021 with the Steelers, 831 yards with the Steelers in 2020, 552 yards with the Steelers in 2019, 1,426 with the Steelers in 2018, and 917 with the Steelers that rookie season in 2017. Now, Juju's market value actually isn't that high, which does surprise me. His market value is only about $2 million more than Jakobi Meyers' expected market value is. Juju's market value is expected to be about $14.6 million per year. I could definitely see a team looking to give him more. At this point, for a wide receiver one, which I don't exactly think Juju Smith-Schuster is, at least a true and elite wide receiver one, because those guys are pushing anywhere from $18+ million, but we actually heard from Albert Breer that Jakobi Meyers could get offers this offseason between that $18 to $20 million mark. And if he's going to get those types of offers, then I only can imagine what type of offer someone like Juju Smith-Schuster could get offered. Now, Spot Track thinks that he's going to sign a market value deal of about 4 years, $58 million. Quite honestly, in that case, I would not be against signing Juju Smith-Schuster at all. I think for that type of deal, for a young guy in his prime, for somebody who put up well over 1,000 yards in a season already, I think that, he plays outside. He definitely plays the slot too. He meets your needs. He's more of a technician, not a speedster, not a slow guy who's just going to block you out with his body and be a 50-50 ball catcher. For the right price, I would not mind seeing Juju here whatsoever. And the last guy that I'm going to include on this list is going to be more of a low-budget option. Again, we've talked about some more premier options with Juju. Obviously, Jakobi is always going to be an option there on the market also for the Patriots. But somebody who can kind of fill that slot option, only be a couple of $1 million, and is a veteran option, is going to be Marvin Jones. And I went back and forth with myself on this one, saying, is this someone that I really do like for the Patriots? He's 32 years old. Receivers over 30 as it is a massive question, let alone someone who's 32. But I just still think that Marvin Jones has it in him. Now, Marvin Jones' expected market value is only about $3.4 million. And Spot Track thinks that his market value contract is going to be about 2 years, $6.9 million. I would not be against that at all. I'd make it a little bit more incentive-based, but also be able to get out of that contract if the Patriots do wish to do so. I feel like it's been a minute since we've seen them do it, but the Patriots in recent history have not been scared to bring these types of guys in. I mean, they had Edelman there to the end. They brought in Eric Decker at one point. We can just go on and on about these old receivers at the end of their careers that New England still did decide to bring in. And again, if Jakobi leaves, you do need a slot guy, and this is going to be someone that can get the job done at a very, very minimal contract. Now, this is somebody that the Patriots have also been linked to in the past. Before he signed with the Jags a couple of seasons ago, he was linked back to the Patriots. The Patriots were interested in him in free agency. The Patriots were interested in trading for him a couple of times while he was with the Detroit Lions. And now, New England can go ahead and grab him for just a couple of $1 million. And he's been a guy that within the last couple of years is actually playing his best football. So as long as he feels good, then I think this could definitely be a home run pick for the Patriots. It's not going to be anything super flashy. He's definitely not going to give you 1,000 yards, but he's someone who's good working in the short to intermediate route, someone who can be more reliable, someone who is a little bit more of a technician, and someone I think that could definitely thrive with Mac Jones and help him out as somebody who's a veteran because, let's be honest, the Patriots receiving core is still pretty young. In just 2020 with the Detroit Lions, he put up a total of 978 yards, 9 touchdowns, averaging 12.9 yards per reception. In 2021 with Jacksonville, and we all know Jacksonville's offense since Trevor Lawrence has gotten there has been a little bit question marked, but he put up a total just in 2021 of 832 yards, 4 touchdowns, averaging 11.4 yards per reception. This past year with Jacksonville, he put up a total of 529 yards, averaging 11.5 yards per reception and 3 touchdowns. Despite the age, he's still putting up decent numbers, and this guy is still a chain mover. But those are going to be a couple of free agents, at least at the wide receiver position, that I think the Patriots could and should realistically target. What are your guys' thoughts on these, and who are a couple of free agents on this open market? I know there's not a lot, but who are your free agents that you think the Patriots should target at the wide receiver position? Let me know in the comment section below, and make sure you guys let me know if you like this series by leaving a thumbs up, share it with some friends, of course, and of course, comment down in the comment section below which position you'd like me to do next. Without further ado, though, I appreciate you guys for watching, and go Pats.